the lovely Miss T is back. Taylor Momsen back with me on WDHA's Reconnect with Rockers. I am always so happy to see your face because I always feel like once we get chatting, we're just chatting. We're just going, man. And it's such a comfortable, awesome, relaxed hang. So it's wonderful to see you again. And last we chatted, I think Death by Rock and Roll had just come out. Holy crap.
It's been a minute, right?
It has. And it was like the record of the year. Congratulations on another amazing #1. I'm sure you weren't surprised, but how did it feel?
Wasn't surprised. Are you kidding? I'm always surprised.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm surprised if it's even played on the radio, let alone goes #1. I mean, there's so much music out there nowadays, and to make something, create something that connects to people in some sort of way is always extraordinarily exciting and mind-blowing. And then another #1, I don't even know what that means at this point. It's super exciting, but it's just, I don't know, to me it means I can get in the car and turn on the radio and randomly hear Death by Rock and Roll on the radio. It's just the cool, that never gets old. That's the coolest thing to me ever. It's my favorite thing, is getting in the car and turning on the radio, and then I have to double check to make sure I'm not playing it on my phone, and they go, oh no,
it is on the radio. It is. Yeah.
It's such a high. It's so awesome. So I'm really thankful for all the support, because especially in this crazy time that we're living in, I had no idea what to expect. I mean, you never do, but without being able to tour and support it and all that, I really had no idea. And I'm just really thankful that people gave it the time of day, and they actually,
dynamite. I mean, it was just a dynamite really cool song, and it's what everybody needed. Everybody needed the battle cry. Everybody, we still, even in times of trouble more than ever, want to rock. We want to feel the same. We want to feel like we felt when we were out, doing live shows. And it's so hard to kind of get that back. And you guys have always been, the band has always been a groundbreaking band. You had 2 back-to-back #1s, which I think, were you the only band or the second band or something? I know Pretenders had 2 back-to-back also. So
I think it was 3. And I think, if I'm right, I think it was 3, and we broke their record.
Phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Just groundbreaking. Crazy. It's awesome.
It's complete. I can't even keep up with the stats at this point. I think we're at 5 #1s in a row or something, which is just, I don't even
crazy
know.
Wild.
It's crazy. I don't even know what to say to that, just other than thank you.
And I'm so excited that Death by Rock and Roll is we finally have a date for it.
I know.
Which is February 12th, which is really, really exciting. I wanted to talk to you too about a record that, first of all, from what I've heard, I haven't heard the whole thing yet, but every track that I've heard, wow, floored, blown away. How difficult was it for you? And when we spoke, you said, wow, I really feel in my bones we've made a great record. To sit on a piece of material that you felt so strongly about, it was so hard to not be like, we want this out there. We want everybody to hear this.
It was a challenge. I'm not going to lie. It was strange. It was kind of similar to the song Death by Rock and Roll. When we finally, we sat on that for a while. We knew that was going to be the first single, but it was, when do we put it out? Because it's the kind of the waiting game of when is touring going to come back? Is touring going to come back? And putting out new material and not being able to play it live is still very bizarre. The circle doesn't feel complete. It's very strange. And so that was kind of the same thought process with the album. But, you get to a point where you just go, okay, we just put out a song 25 with a video for it. I wrote and recorded that when I was just turning 25. I'm not 27. I'm I put this track when I'm 30. I've got other things to say. I've got more songs to write. So you put it out in the world and, see what people think of it. And if it, if people, if it can help them the same way music's helped me in some way, then awesome. And even if it just puts a smile on their face for a second, great. That's what music is there for. It's there to share, and touring will eventually come back. And then when it does, we'll be out there playing it. So I'm super excited that people are finally going to get to hear it, because I've been listening to it ad nauseum for the past 2 years.
Well, I want to talk about 25. First of all, the video is stunning. It's epic. And I loved, we had a chat recently, kind of an off the record chat, but you had made a really interesting point where you're not like a big setter upper of songs. You're
No.
the person who likes people to sort of interpret the song for what the song means to them. And I get it. And that really rang true to me. I thought, wow, that is such a great and interesting perspective. So I love that. But your songwriting on that song for me, I mean, just drew me right in. And I didn't really think about it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think about it necessarily that you were 25, because I'm not sitting, I was almost thinking like, well, maybe it was a symbolic time period or year or something. Like I didn't know what it meant to me, but the video and the song are so incredible. Did you feel after you wrote that song that, you'd accomplished something maybe a little bit different, because there was something very epic, episodic and visual about that song for me.
Thank you. I did actually. It's funny you should ask that. At 25 is one of the first songs written for the record. It was, I believe, it was the first song we actually recorded for the album. But when I finished 25, there was a moment, just a moment, but there was a moment where I sat back for a second and I looked at it, like I kind of looked down and I looked and I thought in my own head and I went, I think I might have just gotten better. I think I've been through a lot of crap, but I think this might be really good. And I think it was, I noticed for a split second, I noticed that there was a shift in my songwriting, that I had taken a step forward. And that was a really exciting moment. It's a fleeting moment because then you have to do it all over again. But
yeah, but a little energy shift. I could see that there was definitely a little energy shift on that song. And you guys were in quarantine for like ever and got back together to do the video. So was that the first time that you saw your band in a long time? You've been really careful. The band's been really careful. You guys kind of did all the great safety protocols that are so important, and we're certainly socially distanced in doing the shoot and everything. But what was it like to do? I think the video came out so great too, because there was so much emotion coming out of you, maybe because it was sort of like you guys kind of got back together too.
It was, first of all, that week was crazy. It was the first, you're correct. It was the first time we went, first time I'd left my house since March. So I was finally back in New York City. It's the first time I'd seen the guys since March, except for on Zoom and, all the socially distanced ways to do things. But so just to be, all COVID tested and safe and in a, because we took every protocol possible, it was all the testing, all the masks, all the shields, all the, everything you could possibly do to stay as safe as possible. But when we were all finally we were all cleared and tested, and the four of us could actually be in a room together for the first time, it was just so fun. It felt like we're getting the band back together. It felt like real life for a second again.
It's all happening. Very Almost Famous moment. It's all happening.
It's all happening. We're getting the band back. And
you looked so stunning in the video.
Thank you.
Oh my God, you in that red dress?
Well, I gotta hand it some Christian Siriano. I mean,
oh God, that was just mind blowing. And you know what? It was so perfect. It was a perfect visual for the song. So it was just, you nailed it. I mean, just absolutely nailed it. Just absolutely beautiful. Fantastic. I also wanted to talk to you about bringing people in on your songs, because you've been very, generous in having guests come in, whether it's, on this record, of course, the incredible Tom Morello on And So It Went, which, oh my gosh, or members of Soundgarden, or even on the last record with Warren Haynes. That's like one of my favorite, songs from the band, because I love Warren's contribution. He is just such a monster player. So how do you know who's going to be the right, person to sort of bring life to the songs? Do you get a visual for that? Do you start talking to people and you're like, oh, I'd like to work with you, let me write a song?
No, not really. It's all dictated by the song. The song comes first. So, I write and write and write and write. And, when I finally have what I consider a record's worth, a good record's worth of material that I'm, really proud of, the songs kind of dictate if there's anyone, because a lot of time there isn't anyone that I think would add. Sorry, I'm saying this very badly. It's who would, when the song's finished, sometimes I sit back and I go, who would really contribute a lot to this is blank blank.
Yeah,
You know, or
you got
like
it.
for Cross the River, it's, I love this song and it's begging for a slide solo right here. You know who would be really great? Warren Haynes.
And you just get in touch with Warren, and Warren's like,
Kind
he's such
of,
a cool
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Kind of. And I go, I was like, well, I don't personally know Warren Haynes, but
But he'd be good.
and he'd be great. So can I send him let's get in touch somehow, send him the song and see what he thinks. And so that's kind of how that came about. And that really is kind of the way that it always works. Like I never write a song with something in mind, because that's just not how I do it. There's no process to songwriting. But when the song is finished, I then can sometimes hear something that's maybe outside of the four of us that can really elevate the song to its full potential. And on this record with And So It Went, like I couldn't for the life of me hear And So It Went without Tom Morello coming in and playing a solo. Like just the lyrical content, the structure of the song, the overall energy and feel of it,
Oh
just
yeah.
begging for his unique voice. And if and if he had said no, I wouldn't have like gone down the list of different guitar players. Like we would have just done it. But his specific sound and voice seems so fitting and so relevant to the song. So it's, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't ask. So, I sent him the song and then said, would you want to play on this? And he said, yes. And when we got the tracks back and we put it all together, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do, which is just elevated it. Like just a whole, it just took it to the next level, of his wizardry that he adds to it. Like when I heard that break, and when I was like, and now enter Tom Morello, and he's going to come in wailing like Tom Morello, and it's going to be awesome. And he,
Right.
and,
And
he
it
starts,
was.
and it was, and it is, and he does. So.
Every song that I've heard so far has just been, it's hard to have every song from a record that you've heard so far blow you away, but everything I've heard so far has blown me away on this record. I mean, I'm not just saying this. So I'm really, really excited, to get the full. And you know what else I love? And you guys self-produced this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, produced it with our dear friend and engineer producer friend named Jonathan Wyman.
Okay.
It is it's co-produced. It's the first album that it's Jonathan, Ben, and myself.
Your voice, the tone on your voice on this record, is just it's exceptional. It's just amazing. Amazing. I heard it on Death by Rock and Roll, then I sort of was like, wow, you just have so found that thing, the thing. What are they called? I just quoted Almost Famous before. It was like the buzz, the buzz.
I think it probably just comes with, I don't know. I feel like I grew a lot in the past few years. I lived a lot of life really quickly. And I think it's something that comes with the trauma of what life is.
You lost two great friends, Chris Cornell and Cato, who was the part of the band with you. Yeah. And I can see that. I can hear that.
It's like inherently in me now that, maybe wasn't there before, that just kind of comes out. Because I didn't really do anything differently. Like I kind of, I didn't necessarily approach anything differently other than like, I constantly try to beat myself, like on every album. I always do that, but I didn't really, I think the thought process of this record was just make it, like get it out. Like I had, like somebody was like something crawling inside of me that I had to get out. And I think that probably comes through in the vocal.
Yeah, I can hear that. Well, I wanted to talk to you too about compromising. The thing that I've always respected about you from the beginning, and I knew how hard it was for you, starting in one spot. And I know that there were people along the way that wanted to probably change you. I mean, everybody knew what would be great for you. You would have been the perfect pop singer, and the perfect this, the perfect that. So you strike me, and there's certain, especially women in music, somebody like a Stevie Nicks, who always says, look, my songs are my kids. I don't compromise my art for anyone. Chrissy Hine, some of the great women in music. And you've always struck me as somebody who nobody's going to mess with your stuff. Nobody's going to mess with you, and nobody's going to mess with your stuff. Do you find it is harder, though, to assert yourself as an artist, being female and saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to compromise? Because I don't picture you as being a compromiser in the things that you believe are right for you and your band.
Well, you'd be correct. I am not, I'm fine with compromising, but I'm not fine with compromising when it comes to art. I refuse to anything that has to do with artistic expression. So from the song to the production to the video to the visual to anything artistic like that, that has to be my way, or just I'm not interested. Like otherwise, what's the point? Like this is I'm expressing myself. If you want to be a part of that, then that's awesome. If you have a different vision for me, or you want to guide me in some other path, then I'm not the right person for you to be working with, because I'm on my own journey. I'm on my own path. So I don't compromise when it comes to art, and that's something that I've always had to fight for, and stay true to my guns and my way of thinking. And luckily I've had a really great team around me who really support that and really allow me to see my vision through, I guess. And then the way it's released, and then you look for partners who understand your vision and at least to the best of their ability, and are on the same team and the same side, and want to just kind of accentuate that and accompany it and help it along. And that's who you look for in partners with labels and things like that, is someone who really understands you as an artist to the best of their ability, and just wants to help propone that, and instead of someone who wants to take you and turn you into something else. That's just never worked for me.
No, and you stuck to you have stuck to your guns, and gotten out there, and jumped in front of crowds and did whatever you had to do, to keep your band your band.
Yeah, because if it's not my band, then what's the point? Like, it's kind of that simple. Like I feel like I look at life sometimes very basically. Like it's just it's very simple. It's like, okay, here's what I like to do, and you're telling me to do this. Well, I don't want to do that because I don't like to do that. So I'm going to go back and do this. And if you want to be a part of this, come to my side. Like, just, and that's not always my bank account doesn't necessarily thank me for.
It's not always the popular decision.
Yeah,
it's not always the popular decision, but in the long haul,
in the long haul, it's the one that makes me happy, and I can look back on my life, and I can look forward on my life, and go, no, I'm doing the right thing, because like I can go to sleep at night knowing I made the right decision for myself, and that's all. That's what success is making something that you're proud of, and the rest of the world be damned.
Authenticity, baby. The authenticity. You're an authentic artist, and it comes through in the music. So before I let you go, one positive thing that's come out of a crazy year, something that you're like, you know what? I never really knew I'd like to do this, but this is kind of a new discovery for me. Anything?
New discovery. I don't know if I have a new discovery. I mean, I've learned to record from home myself. I guess that's something that I never really did before. I've demoed songs and things, but I've never actually like worked on collaborating while recording myself. Granted, I'm still very, very technologically challenged. Like all the home recordings I've been doing over the past few months are recorded on a Tascam battery powered 8-track.
I love that though. I love that. That's great. That's awesome.
I'm analog. That's what I can do.
I love analog.
Like I refuse to get too involved in the digital age, which is probably a mistake at this point. Like I should probably take a lesson, but I don't know. There's something really basic about it that keeps it pure and honest in my own. I don't know, something in my own psyche that I like about that. Instead of having to figure out like I don't even know how to do it. Like record on a computer, like I'm staring at a screen, like it just has physical buttons and knobs and levels, and like it makes sense to me. So I've learned how to I've been perfecting that, I guess, a little bit, which is something that I never really thought that I would do to release. Like, it's something I've used that for years, but I've never like then had to mix it with, people in Seattle, and Elaine Johannes doing The Keeper was in Chile, and I'm in Maine. Suddenly this is going out to the world. So that's something kind of creative that I've been working on that I never thought that I would be put in the position to have to learn how to do that. And then I don't know, just I don't think anything really new. I've just been kind of just appreciating time at home, and getting like little things, like I get to spend time with my dog, who's very old and she's very tiny. And if I'm being realistic, she's probably not going to be around that much longer. And
Yeah, no, I know the feeling. I have a 15-and-a-half-year-old dog too, and I thought the same thing. This year I've been home a lot more, and I was thinking the same thing. It's almost like a blessing, a little bit of a
yes.
blessing. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of trying to look at, the little things that, like, I'm getting antsy and a little bored, I'm sure, like everyone else is, and, ready to kind of get back into the swing of things. But, it's we're still in the waiting game, and we still just have to be patient. And in that time period, just look at all the things that we do have, like, because there's so many. And even if they seem small, like, those are the things that actually bring your heart and soul joy at the end of the day. It's like, it's the tiny, it's the way the flower moves, or the way, I don't know, I'm just trying to be stupid.
The way the wind blows.
The way the wind blows.
I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to hook up with you and chat, for our listeners and people that watch, Reconnect with Rockers so many times, because it's been so great. You've always been so generous with your time.
No,
And, I really, really appreciate it.
are you kidding? You've been such a supporter of us for so long. And like,
Love you guys.
I'm so appreciative of your time. So it's mutual respect here.
Love
So
you.
you ever
Love
need.
you. And I'm really excited because what do we have, like less than 3 weeks until we get a
I know.
full new release from the Pretty Reckless, which
I
is
can't believe
exciting.
it.
I can't either. I can't either. I'm so excited. I'm like so excited.
It feels surreal at this point. Like, the days are counting down, but yet the days are blending together. And so, like, I feel like every day I'm like, wait, is it only that many days away? Like, it's not months. It's not months anymore. It's weeks. Like, oh shit. All right.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. So excited. Taylor, it is always such a pleasure. Can't wait to see your face in person. We can't wait to have you back in Jersey, New York, and see the band. And congratulations on just a fantastic release. It's just around the corner. I can see it. I feel like I can smell it. I can touch it. I can reach out and grab it. And I'll tell you, if there's been anything that has healed us and helped us through this, it's just being able to rock and just get great music, that we need it more than ever now.
I fully agree with that. And you know what? Even if it's not, that's a bad tagline. I was gonna end it with something terrible. I was gonna say, even if you don't like our new record, there's plenty of old school rock to listen to.
Oh no, you're great. See, you're so authentic. But people are gonna love it. You're so authentic.
Just keep music in your life. Like, I'm a full proponent of that. I think it's just such a necessary thing, and it keeps your spirits up, and it keeps you moving forward. And so,
yeah, there's just something about turning up the radio,
and you can always go back.
And there's something about turning up the radio in the car. It still never gets old. When you're driving, I was driving home today. I knew I was going to talk to you, and we had, and so it was on the air, and I said, oh, this is so perfect. And, it's still 30 degrees here. So I cracked my window just a little bit, but, I had it like at high volume going down the road. And I thought, you know what? I could be 17 or I could be older me, and it just never gets old. It's just such a great feeling.
It's the most freeing feeling. That's how I see it. I feel like listening to the radio in the car with the windows rolled down, even if it's negative degrees outside, there's no other feeling like it. It's just, it feels like you own the world, and it's absolute freedom. And I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Taylor Momsen, love you, girl. Cannot wait to see you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much. And please continue to stay safe, and I'll see you soon.
DHA's Reconnect with Rockers is powered by Karis Lock Company, your full-service locksmith.